The following material is for private use only and is copyright of Sittingbourne Community Radio Limited. It is not to be used or reproduced without prior written permission.
Gary and I were talking about Gary being Gary Chadwick, who's the district commander for Sittingbourne and Milton Scouts. Good afternoon, Gary.
Good afternoon, Tony. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, well, and you, because we were saying it'd been there probably about maybe July since I last saw you, and we were saying that Gary doesn't do too much scouting during August because he's busy doing it all the year and he thinks August is his time off. And we were saying that, I've had a bit feathered time doing other things recently, and you kind of need it, don't you?
You do indeed, yes. It keeps you sane and keeps you involved more in your volunteering work that we do all year round.
Right, so talking about people doing volunteering, you've had people being busy in the last month, haven't you?
We have indeed, yes. We've had quite a few groups in the district doing lots of events and keeping the children busy.
Such as?
The local beavers had a local hike around the campsite, which we call the Teddy Bear Picnic, where they did a 3-mile hike around the campsite and then went back and had their teddy bear picnic with their teddy bears. And a couple of weeks before that, the Scouts of the district did a hike to the secret bunker at Kelvedon Hatch near Chelmsford. It was a 10-mile hike. We caught the train from Sittingbourne over to somewhere near Chelmsford. I can't remember the actual place of Kirk Beloy or something like that. A 10-mile hike to the bunker, an overnight stay in the bunker, looking at all the things that was happening in the Cold War, some great history lessons there for the Scouts. And then the next morning, another hike back to the station and back home again. A very tiring hike there, but thoroughly enjoyable. The Merston and Buckchild Scout Group have been doing work on their new allotment. It's something they got over the summer period and have now started developing that, growing some fruit and vegetables and keeping it tied over, which is good for the community in that area. The district has also started listening to the young voices. That is the young people in the district, the Beavers, Cubs and Scouts. We had our first ever youth forum 2 weeks ago, where they came along, expressed their opinions on what's happening in the district and in their own personal groups, and what they would like to change and to do things better. And with that, we actually had from the end of that, we've now started our first ever youth council in the Sittingbourne, Milton and District Scouts.
Just tell us a bit about the different age ranges. So you've got the Beavers, who are the youngest, I understand, isn't it? And then the Cubs are next, and then the full Scouts after that.
Yes, sir. The Beavers start at the age of 5 3/4, usually start at the age of 6. They go on to the age of 8. Then from there they move on to the Cubs from 8 to 10.5. And then from there on to Scouts to the age of 14. And then we have what we call a senior section of Explorer Scouts from the age of 14 to 18. And these people have been helping and taking part in these events as well as young leaders, and also having fun themselves in this.
I may regret asking these questions, but where do you get the 5 3/4 and 10.5 from?
The 5 3/4 is sort of is the minimum age you can take legally for youngsters to be involved in the activities that we do in scouting.
Yeah. Where does the 3/4 come from?
It's to get them started, because they usually get enrolled at 6, and they usually take sort of 2 to 3 months to get settled in before they get invested. So that's why that's the earliest age. Most groups take them sort of like 5 and 10 months, 5 and 11 months that they come into it. The 10.5. No idea on that one. It's just it's like anything, isn't it? You have to build a fence somewhere where you change over, and it was decided that would be the ideal fence, so to speak, to erect.
Yeah, I can sort of understand 11, but 10.5
it's flexible, because obviously it depends. A lot of groups, if they've got some cubs that are 10.5 and their friend isn't 10.5 for another 2 months, they would hang on to that 10.5 years, so that sometimes it's nearer to 11. And sometimes they're just over 10 as well. We're very flexible on those. It's not a rigid time scale.
Yeah, no, I guess it's probably also to do with probably historically to do with school roles as well.
Yes.
Given that in a year you could have people the oldest ones would be sort of October, and the youngest ones would be born in July, and it's just kind of works like that, I suppose.
Yes, it's because scouting is worked on the school term, and when we consider the beginning of the scouting year as September as well.
Yeah, it's September, I think, for everybody is the time when you sort of change from doing summer activities to winter activities, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah. I mean, definitely October, November, obviously it gets more difficult for scout groups to put in their programme. But there we start doing the preparations again, ready for the outdoor activities. But we've had quite a lot of groups being out, actually still now. We've got some groups camping this weekend.
Which is all right. I mean, the weekend wasn't too bad weather-wise, but was it? But I can't think of very nice camping today.
No, and that's it. The weather's looking bad for this coming weekend, where I know that there's definitely 2 groups out there outdoors.
Presumably, though, if you've got, I mean, mud is the worst thing, isn't it? But if you've got good tents, you can stay dry. But it's when you know, the tents have to be put in fields, which, as more and more water falls, they get muddy.
Yes, I've been there in that situation where actually, you know, you've been better off just leaving your tent there. It's been like a Glastonbury. Yes, it definitely has.
Yeah. Now, as well as the things you've been doing, you've got 3 fundraisers coming up between now and Christmas.
Yes, we have. The first one is actually for the Explorer Scouts that came and visited over the summer months, where they're going to Poland in 2015. And they've got a quiz night on Friday the 24th of October at Borden Grammar School. Doors open at 7 o'clock for a 7:30 start. It's £3 a head and there's 8 to a table. There's also a raffle and a game of head and tails. Refreshments are available for a small day donation, and if you wish to have alcohol, please take your own.
And presumably, is that to raise money for the actual trip?
Yes, it's to raise money for the trip. They've got to raise, I think it's £4,500 they're looking to raise overall, and this is just part of reaching that target.
Okay, and the next one?
The next one is the Upchurch Scout Group. They're having their annual firework display at Upchurch. It's probably one of the biggest ones sort of run privately around there, but it is open to the public. That's on Saturday the 1st of November. Gates open at 5:30pm. There's no alcohol, sparklers or fireworks, and no unaccompanied children, please. It's adults are £7 and children under 16 are £5. There's family tickets of £20, but there's no advance tickets. It is pay at the gate. And it's actually held at the Westmoor Farm on the A2 between Sittingbourne and Rainham. The postcode, if you wish to use your sat-nav, is ME8 8QF.
Okay, so just to be clear about that, the scouts who have organised it will be letting off all the fireworks. You won't be allowed to take your own fireworks or sparklers or any alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, that's correct. They have a professional firework display team come in, so it's all safe. They have a good large bonfire as well. And what happens is these obviously local charities have their own stores around the field selling their wares and things like that. So other scout groups in the area raise funds, but the main concept of it is to raise funds for the Upchurch Scout Group and the upcoming of the upkeep of their headquarters.
And the final one?
And the final one is our own district Christmas fair on Saturday the 6th of December at Borden Grammar School. It's 10 till 4, and we'll have more details on that at next month's slot, please, Tony. Okay,
and if people want to find out more about that, give us the website address.
The website is all the W's, sittingbournescouts.org.uk, and if anybody wants any other details, they can email me it's dc@sittingbournescouts.org.uk.
And that will tell you not just about Sittingbourne and Milton, but all the scout groups in the area.
It does indeed, yes, Tony.
All right, Gary Chadwick, nice to see you again. Glad you enjoyed your trip to Centre Parks during the summer, and we'll talk to you all being well it'll be November, won't it?
Yes, November the 12th, I think it is. Yes.
How time flies when you're having fun.
It does indeed. Thank you very much, Tony.